Welcome back. This is the Sundays Brunch Podcast, episode 12. As you guys noticed, we don't have Bobby Match today. He's got strep throat or COVID or something. But we got a very special guest, Dani King. How are you?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. What have you been doing? What music? Full-time music now, right?
Working a ton. Yeah, full-time music. It's been pretty hectic this year, but it's been definitely a blast, honestly.
Hectic's better than bored, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
So when you say hectic, are you doing
Without a doubt.
Yeah. When you say hectic, are you doing a lot of gigs, a lot of writing? What are you?
A lot of both, honestly. So I usually have like, oh my God. I usually have between like 5 and 10 open projects at a time. And because I do features for EDM artists, like producers and stuff. They'll send me their tracks and I write the top lines and the melody, record it all, do all the vocal editing and processing, and then send it back to them. So I usually have 5 to 10 of those going at a time. And then I performed at 2 festivals
I saw that.
I did a third.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, we had to show up in LA too. So that was, yeah, it was a lot of traveling in like a 6-week period, but
Yeah, I saw one of those festivals. It looked like a pretty big one. What was that? Name drop that one real quick.
so the big one was Electric Zoo in New York.
That's super dope.
Yeah, that one was lit. That was really cool. I think we had like 4 or 5,000 people in the crowd for that one. So that was like,
That your biggest crowd you ever played?
it was my first festival performance ever. And the guy that was performing after us missed his flight, so we got bumped up to his time slot, which was like a really good time slot.
Oh shit! Talk
So
about the
that was
universe
like,
working for you.
yeah, that was definitely the biggest crowd I've done so far. So that was really cool. And then I did Lost Lands in Ohio too, which is like a dubstep festival.
Okay.
They're about the same size festivals, but our crowd for that one was a little bit smaller, just because I was with a smaller artist at the time. But while I was there, I performed with a guy named Swarm at Electric Zoo, and Swarm was also performing at Lost Lands. So I went to go watch his set, and when he dropped our song, his girlfriend was like, "Get on stage," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So
Oh
I just
my
like put my
god.
bag to the side, and I was like, "Hope someone doesn't steal my bag." And then jumped on stage with him, and then I went up to the rail, and I was like headbanging on the rail with the fans. So
Oh
that
my
was
god.
like probably the highlight of my year right there. That
That's
was
actually
so cool.
that's actually kind of iconic, and also like how I'm unprepared. I'm not actually prepared to be performing, but all of a sudden I'm up here in front of all these fucking people. We had it live.
It was really cool. Yeah, the entire thing was improvised so well. And I'm like, dude, it was barely even improvised. Like when I go running, I play these songs on repeat and I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do on stage. This is the other thing I want to do on stage. Like I plan it all out in my head for like months ahead of time. So improvising was really easy.
That's incredible. But you do a lot of like acoustic sets too though, right? Or at least used to.
I used to. I don't really do those as much anymore just because I haven't really had the time. I was doing those a lot before COVID happened. I was doing like 2 a week or so. I would have 3-hour sets where I would just go to bars and play guitar, sing along for like 3 hours. A lot of it was just background music, so it wasn't like a big deal or anything. I rarely rehearsed for them. They were
Yeah.
just fun.
I was gonna say like there's
But
drastic
yeah,
difference
otherwise
playing
like
those versus big ass festivals.
huge. Huge. I mean, it's a completely different ball game. And it's also very weird for me because I'm so used to having an instrument in front of me. I'm not used to like getting up there just me myself in like a fancy outfit and a microphone. That's weird for me. So I'm still getting used to that. I kind of have to plan my shit out on stage, so I'm not awkward.
So you went from playing like smaller bars like everybody else does, like under 50 people there, to playing like on a stage. And we have a lot of listeners that are up and coming artists that like when they drop the instrument or when it comes to playing in front of more people, they get a little bit nervous, like what that stage presence is like, especially when you're switching like genres almost or doing original stuff versus covers. What was that
Yeah.
transition like for you?
Um, Okay, so I was like freaking the fuck out before, before these shows. I was like so stressed. Like I can't even begin to explain. It was not good. I was so stressed out. I was not having a good time. I also only got an hour of sleep before uh my first festival performance
That's
because of
solid.
some travel issues. Yeah, it was not good. It was the worst travel experience I've had of my life. I had like a full mental breakdown the night before. I had to be on site by 10 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah, so everything went perfectly the day of, like perfect. So what I did to prepare for that was actually running and singing at the same time and like training, um
Okay.
getting really really ready for these. So I do about 20 minutes at a time. I would borrow a friend, one of my friends has like a home gym, so I would borrow her gym and like get on the elliptical and just like run through the song 3 times or so. Or if I didn't have that available, I would just be in my studio here doing like high knees and butt kickers and like lunges and squats and stuff while singing through the songs. um
Smart.
yeah, it trains your lungs to be able to handle any sort of like activity that you're doing. So if you're running around the stage, if you're jumping up and down, and most importantly for me was controlling my adrenaline. So
Okay.
if you're like training so that your voice is ready to handle, or your lungs are ready to handle when your body gets hit with that adrenaline, then it doesn't matter and you're still going to sing really well. And I didn't really know if it was going to work or not. But I was like, I got to give myself the best chance here. So I'm glad that I trained. I trained for about 6 weeks before the first show, showed up, had a terrible travel experience, slept for an hour, got to site, was panicking. And then the sound check was amazing. And I finished the sound check and I was like, why am I so stressed?
Right. You're
Everything's
like, I got this shit.
everything is fine. The worst has already happened. Nothing can get worse than that. We're good. So by the time the show came around, I was seeing the crowd and they were all super stoked. And there was a few people in the front row who they were all in Swarm jerseys, who's the guy I was singing with. And
Yeah.
they saw me and they pointed at me and started waving. And I was like, oh God, they know who I am. What the fuck?
What a surreal feeling.
Oh, yeah. So it was like, it almost didn't even feel that much different than doing my regular bar gigs because those people all knew who I was. They would always stop and say hi and wave at me and stuff. And it was like the same thing.
Still
Like
had
people
that.
were there and excited to see you. So it kind of gave me the same feeling, but it also just made me feel more comfortable and at home.
Fair. You still have that little intimate feeling because of the people recognize you.
Yeah, exactly. So I was able to go out there and just feel comfortable. And like the minute I got on stage, there was no worries. Everything was great.
That's super dope. So the EDM field is like one that I'm not familiar with at all. And I'm sure like so like you appearing on other like DJs records and stuff, how does that fare for you? Like if you were to do multiple, like do you just appear like during their set, or do you like have your own set that you would do if you were booked out for a gig? Or how exactly does that would that work for you?
Yeah, right now I'm just doing guest performances. So I come out like for Swarm, I came out and I did one song with him, and it was like, oh, I want to bring out a special guest. This is Dani King. I come out, sing, I leave. Um, and so we did that, but also I'll hop in on like their meet and greets and stuff at the end. And so that way I'm kind of building my own fan base and like getting people to be a little bit more interested because I'm gonna start releasing solo project stuff next year. And I am currently learning how to DJ as well.
Oh, dope.
I do plan on doing my own sets and having my own entire hour-long shows, but as of right now, I'm just doing guest performances.
Fair, being creating a demand for yourself already, so that way there's a audience for you when you pop out by yourself. Super smart. So you're originally from Nashville, right?
Okay, I'm
Well,
from
we met
Chicago.
in Nashville at least.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, but I was actually born in Seattle.
So you everywhere.
Yeah, I lived in Atlanta for a little while. I went to Nashville for college, and then I moved out to LA after college. So
Gotcha.
I've been all over the place except like the East Coast.
Fair. So when you initially went from Nashville to LA, what was that draw for you?
So my school actually offered a 6-month study in either LA or New York program. And I just thought that was really appealing and wanted to find a way to do it. So I did. It involved a summer class and taking 22 credit hours my last semester to graduate on time, but I did it.
Damn.
It sucked, but I did it. So I came out here and I interned at Dr. Luke's label, Kimosabi. Um, and I loved it. I loved it out here. I spent a lot of time exploring. We lived in Burbank, spent a lot of time on the west side, went around Hollywood, Silver Lake, explored everywhere that I possibly could, fell in love with the west side of Los Angeles. And so after that, I actually went back to Nashville to finish my degree and bartend through the summer to save up enough money to move out here. And then August, I headed out this way. October, got my first apartment.
There you go. Good for you.
Yeah, it was
So
awesome. Definitely worth doing.
so a lot of people who do music, obviously like with internet age, it's changing of you having to be in a big city.
Oh, yeah.
Like with ads and stuff, like it's not so much where you have to be in a big city, but a lot of people still are like, well, I need to be in a Nashville, I need to be in a New York, I need to be in an LA.
Mhm.
Because you've had spent significant time in Nashville and LA, what would you say the music scene differences are in the two locations?
Especially for what I'm trying to do, because I work in EDM, there's just not really an EDM scene in Nashville. It's
Fair.
growing. They're working on getting one out there, which is really cool, but I just wasn't patient enough to wait. And granted, I mean, 90% of my work is on the internet. I
Right.
I don't have to be in any specific city, but it's really nice to be in Los Angeles because there are shows every night of the week. There's something to do all the time here that's related to my genre, or like just getting FaceTime with all the people in the industry and making friends in my
Connects,
industry.
networking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been really valuable for me. So I really like that. Uh that's like my favorite part about it. I actually don't live in LA right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I moved to Laguna Beach in June. We're only here temporarily though. We're gonna be here for about a year. It was a decision I made with my boyfriend. He inherited his family home, so we have a free place to live for a year. And I'm like, let's save up our
let's
money and stay down here.
right. Like let's stack some bread up real quick.
I have a studio that's not my bedroom. Like this is my own studio that I got to treat and decorate myself, and
That's amazing.
that's really nice. That's made a huge difference. And I'm only an hour away from LA, so I can still drive up for shows, drive up for sessions. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, probably a lot less traffic that way too.
A ton less traffic. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about the traffic, I'm not gonna lie. I like plan my entire schedule around rush hour, but
LA life.
yeah, for real. But no, we'll definitely go back up to Los Angeles for sure. But you got to take advantage of certain situations when you can. And because I'm not required to be in LA, my job is remote. I might as well take advantage of it.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah.
So being like in the music industry as a whole, like I know for myself personally, there's been when you don't know a lot, especially as an independent artist, there's people who will like try to like feast on you and like take advantage of you and like scam you out of shit. I'm sure like as anybody that's like coming up when they don't have a lot of knowledge, like that happens to a lot of people. But as a woman, I'm sure that happens a lot, probably a lot more.
They try so hard.
Can you give like a little like perspective, like what it's like being like a woman in the industry with constant people trying to take advantage of you business wise and other ways?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm pretty lucky at this point. I think most people have figured out that I'm not an idiot. But a lot of people, especially when you are a vocalist in electronic music, people just don't take you as seriously as producers because you, like, quote unquote, have less knowledge than the producers, which is not true. I produce, I sing, I vocal produce, I read all of my own contracts. I do all that stuff myself.
Right.
Um, it's definitely interesting. I have had producers say to me, "Well, I've never written a song before, but I can totally write better lyrics than what you just did." I'm like, this is my career. This is what people pay me a lot of money to do this. What are you talking about?" And then they'll, like, the guy that said that, he sent me back these lyrics and I literally went line by line and I was like, "This is why these lyrics are terrible. Either let me do my job or don't, but you're not getting your deposit back."
Right.
And like, we have people all the time try to undercut my vocal fee or talk shit about what I charge, which is ridiculous because I'm not actually that expensive in comparison to a lot of other artists. And I've had people tell me like you don't charge enough, but then I on the other hand I literally have producers who have gone to my friends and been like, can you believe she tried to charge me this much? I'm like, excuse you.
Right, especially because when you're charging for like a verse, like they can make infinite off of it, and you're charging a one-time fee unless you work in the back end.
Yeah, and like I write the lyrics, I write the melody, I write all the harmony parts, I record everything myself, I edit it all, and I vocal produce. All they have to do is drop it right in there, and I
Right,
charge $1,000.
that's not shit.
And I have people talking shit about me to my friends, and I'm like, all right, y'all, you got to calm down. If you can't afford me, that's okay. I'm
I
not
was
gonna judge you for that, but I'm gonna judge you if you're gonna talk shit about me.
I was gonna say if you broke, just say that.
Exactly. It's like there's never any hard feelings if you can't afford the fee. That is okay. And the other thing too is like 90% of the time I'm gonna negotiate. If you like, if I'm out of your budget, just tell me and tell me what your budget is, and we can figure something out. But it's when people start to disrespect me that I'm just like, I don't really want to work with you then. If
Right.
you don't respect me as an artist and you don't respect my worth, then like why would I want to put myself out on a limb for you, you know? So I'm not gonna do that. And then like I don't know. I've had some artist managers pull things on me. I can't say who this was because it was like a big person, but I've literally had an artist manager uh invite me to Coachella to try to fuck me. And then when I told him like, hey, I just really want to keep this a professional relationship, like a business relationship. I'm cool with being homies, but like nothing more. He just went, oh, that's too bad. And then he blocked me.
Oh my God. I've heard horror stories of like that happening where like they'll tell the girl like, hey, like I'll do this for you, like, but you gotta fuck me. Like, how
Mhm.
frequent is that a thing that happens? Like, or has that happened to you?
Was a huge manager. This is like a yeah. This is not like a small time person. This was like a big person who did this. And I'm just like, I mean, that hasn't happened to me too often, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I am like not a little person. I'm 5',
Yeah.
like I tower over most men in electronic music, so I think I scare them, which is great for me. But
Their little man syndrome in full effect.
yeah, it's pretty funny. So I think that's kind of helped me out a little bit, not gonna lie, and I really appreciate that. But my manager's a woman too. And my manager is this 5 foot tall Filipino woman, and she is terrifying.
Oh yeah, she'd probably scare the shit out of me.
Oh, do not fuck with her. She is my favorite person on the planet. I am so lucky I have someone like her on my side. But it's definitely interesting the way that we both get spoken to sometimes. So
It actually disgusts me, but also I think it's like a good like teaching point for people who listen to this. Like, what can you like give advice to like girls coming up that like obviously like when this is your dream, you want this so bad. So you will a lot of people will do damn near anything to like have this shit come true. Like,
yeah.
how do you like tell people like don't get yourself in fucking shitty situations because they probably won't fucking do it for you anyways.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I can say is just stand up for yourself. Like, be clear, be concise. If someone is flirting with you and making you uncomfortable, the easiest thing that you can do is say, "Hey, I appreciate your interest, but I would like to keep this a business professional relationship. I'm okay with being friends, but I'm not interested romantically." Very clear, but very kind, so that no one can come back at you and be like, well, she did this.
Yeah.
Always like stick up for yourself, but just don't be too rude or like weird, you know? Because
Yeah.
you always want to be on the right side of it.
Right.
That's the best way to take care of yourself is just make sure that nobody can come back and say, well, it's your fault.
Fair. I love it
Yeah.
when people put the people that do it on blast. Obviously, that's a
No.
it's not a
You have to
ideal situation for
gotta
most,
be
but
careful doing that too. You gotta pick and choose when you do those moments. You really do. And
yeah,
it
you
sucks. I hate that. And I hate that the responsibility is basically on us as women to have to like monitor ourselves to make sure that we're right. Like I don't like that. It shouldn't be our responsibility, but the way that it's set up right now, it fucking is. And that sucks. But you
yeah,
know,
because it's almost like they will blackball you if you do put them on blast, right?
exactly. Exactly. And that's why you need to pick and choose how and when you do that and how careful you are. Um, and also pick and choose, what you say to these people, because if you do the wrong thing, someone in power might blackball you, and that would be horrible. No one wants that.
Right. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to even get gigs, let alone
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. And I
That's
hate that
fucked up.
thing, but it is a thing, and we have to work with it the way that it is right now. And hopefully we'll, I am hopeful that we're moving away from that. I know that like myself and my manager, we've done a really good job of narrowing down the people that we work with. So we don't
Hmm.
have anybody like that we are constantly in contact with. Like we don't have to deal with that really ever, because anytime we've had that happen, we blacklist them from working with us or any of our contacts. So
Good.
we've we've really built up a pretty good like list of people that we enjoy working with that are respectful and like really good, wonderful people. And a lot of the people in the industry that I work with and that I know are doing the same. So I think we are slowly moving towards a certain level of accountability, which I think is great. We
Agreed.
That's what we need, but it's just slow moving, you know.
Flipping the blacklist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing though. Respect for that.
It takes a lot of work and it's really frustrating at times,
Oh,
but
I'm sure. Yeah, I get irritated like hearing the stories that happen. I'm like,
yeah. But I mean, the one thing that I'm like not super upset about, can't say I'm happy about it, but I'm not upset about it, is that like I get to be a part of the change, which is kind of cool. Like it sucks
right.
that I have to deal with it, but it's cool to be able to help change it.
Yeah, it's an inspiring focal point for you.
Trying to be.
So like when changing the pace a little bit, like when the pandemic hit, you were gigging pre that, and then the
Yep.
pandemic hit. So like you probably had to like change the pace if you're going to eat and be still full time in music. What was that? Did that work in your favor? Was that hard? What was that like?
So I was actually not full-time music until the pandemic hit. I
So
was
it
still bar.
helped you.
Yeah. I was bartending. I was doing probably like 3 to 5 top lines a month. Um, which now I do. I mean, I'll do anywhere from 3 to like 15 a month now.
Wow.
Um, I was doing that. I was doing 1 to 2 shows a week. I was the booking agent for 2 different bars. I had a lot of shit going on before the
You had a
pandemic.
lot of hustles.
Yeah, and so I lost all of them except for writing. I was laid off from bartending. Obviously, all the live shows got shut down. Um, I actually, like the night when all the news of the pandemic broke was supposed to be an opening night that I had booked up with like 6 different artists to go
Oh
play.
my God.
And the owner of the bar was like, "No, we're going to go ahead. Everything's fine." And I was like, "I am not putting my artists in that tiny ass bar. We are not doing
No.
that." So I told him, I was like, "Absolutely not. We're canceling tonight. No one will be showing up."
Holy, I mean, good for you, but damn. What
Uh,
that
yeah.
so it ended
So
up working in your favor though, ultimately. Like how did you create that demand for your like obviously like through gigging, people knew of you, but how did you create that demand to get more placements?
uh hustling on Twitter.
Hey.
Social media was my best friend. I definitely did take advantage of going on unemployment for a while.
Sure.
I was laid off from bartending, so it was available to me. We applied
Right.
like right away and luckily got in pretty quickly. So I used that time to build up my contacts and basically start just befriending producers and DJs and managers online and starting to send out sets of top lines. I took like a month to update my entire top line playlist. I had a bunch of written stuff that needed to be recorded all of it, had a playlist set together, and then just started sending it out. And because everybody and their mother was stuck at home writing music,
Right.
everybody needed lyrics. So I
So
hopped on that pretty quickly. And then I had a bunch of work like 6 months in.
smart. So are you strictly like when you write, are you writing for other people? Are you just writing for yourself and singing it on top of them? Or do you do a little bit of both?
I mostly write over other people's instrumentals. There are some top lines that I've pulled and set aside to keep for myself. But I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not really thinking about that when I'm writing the songs. For the most part, I'm thinking about how well it's going to like place in the instrumental, how it's going to sound, if it's something that's like really personal, that will relate to a bigger audience, stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, my brain just kind of shuts off and I just word vomit and then edit it all later and hope that it sounds good.
Yeah, I feel that my creative process is literally mumbling into a mic and trying to like, you know, that word where you talk really fast, or that game where you read a bunch of words scrambled together and you try to
Yeah.
figure out what it's saying. That's pretty much how my fucking recording process goes. So I feel that.
I can't like improvise on the microphone. I have to type everything out first, and I can have lyrics typed up in like 20 minutes, and then I sit there and I'll take an hour to like edit them and make them sound like cohesive and nice. But usually when a producer sends me an instrumental, I'll write like somewhere between 2 and 4 top lines to that instrumental. So I have like 30 something top lines just waiting to be placed.
Smart.
Yeah, so for every one song that I finish, I write 2 or 3 more songs on top of that.
I envy the people that can actually write on a computer or a phone, because my ass can't write on anything besides like notebook. I have to be
Really?
able to like scribble it out. If I try to write on a screen, I'll sit in front of it for hours and nothing will come out.
I kind of like that though, because then you have like these really cool keepsakes of notebooks of all the stuff that you've written.
Yeah, but nobody else can read it because it's chicken scratch.
I mean, it's still cool though. You can look back in like 15 years and be like, oh yeah, this is like the beginning, you know?
That's
Whereas
fair.
mine is like mine is like on Evernote, all organized with like spreadsheets and shit.
So hopefully no one ever hacks your cloud.
Not very nostalgic.
I mean, as long as the cloud doesn't get hacked, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So in the industry, there's always been this notion of like youth is the thing. Like youth is like, if you can be too old, or like they won't sign you, or you're too old to be in music or that thing. There's a shift in that happening, it seems like, where people are older getting into it more. Are the 30s the new 20s?
This is the reason why I love electronic music over pop is no one gives a flying fuck about age. Nobody cares. The top
Fair.
the top DJs in EDM right now are all like 40. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, no one cares because it's not like when it comes to pop music, when you think of pop, you think of people like Halsey, Ariana Grande, like
Right.
Camila Cabello, like all Dua Lipa, all of these young, beautiful women. Guys, yeah, that definitely applies too, but it really does apply to the women. And I noticed that when I was interning at that pop label,
Mm-hmm.
there was this one woman. She was like kind of a rocker singer that one of the A&Rs really wanted to sign, and the label wouldn't sign her because she was 26,
What?
27. She was too old, according to them. I
Bro.
know. And that's why I was sitting there like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This girl had an amazing voice and they wouldn't sign her because she was too old.
26 is too old? Damn, I must be ancient.
Apparently. But but that's the thing is like in my genre, in my realm, no one cares. Most of the women that are coming up in electronic music are mid 20s, if not older. So it's just not that big a deal, you know? Because
Yeah,
it's not about their face and their image. It's about their brand as a whole.
sure.
That's what I think is cool. Like I know a couple of girls who like don't really show their faces on social media. They have like characters and stuff that they post instead.
I love that. Because like, especially with like streaming age, like when playlists and shit, you can tune into music without knowing who the artist even really is as a person. And then it
Exactly.
kind of forces people to be a fan of the music instead of a like a brand again.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's great. Like I think
So
that's the way it should be, but personally, but
I mean, completely agree. I literally think that there's people who are like, not to discredit, because all music is like art,
oh yeah.
but the there's people who I think are more popular than they probably should be, just based on people investing like in their brand or the nonsense that comes around them.
I agree.
It's a
Absolutely.
very bizarre time.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's this whole thing going around in the EDM world right now. And this goes back to like the way that women are treated in EDM, where it's like a lot of the women producers um are often accused of being ghost produced or being whatever the fuck this means, industry plants.
I hate that term.
I don't get that. Like, and the people that they're accusing are like really talented producers, really talented people who have been hustling for years and years and years. And
Bro.
it drives me up a wall. But like I kind of understand that whole concept when it comes to like pop artists and stuff like that. But EDM is so tiny and niche. It's not like there's labels that can throw in millions of dollars behind EDM acts. 90% of them come up independent. So how are they going to be industry plants? That's not a thing. Like,
Right.
what?
Do you know what the term industry plant comes from?
I'm really not sure.
It's
People
like
just around. Okay.
it's literally like they call an industry plant where like they have record labels that hire people who create like bot systems that create a bunch of different like accounts on all
Yeah.
streaming services and repeatedly like stream this with robots to trick Spotify's algorithm to putting them in the top of like bigger playlists.
Oh my God.
So how the fuck would an independent artist have somebody that can code bots to do that?
I mean, there's definitely problems with botted playlisting in electronic music. I know that's like a thing across the board, but like none of these artists have thousands or, in pop terms, millions of dollars to throw at botting these playlists to do this. Like they just don't. That's not a
Right.
thing. It's just maybe it's a thing for like 1% of the people in electronic music, but it's just not. The people that are being accused of doing it are definitely not. Half of
Yeah.
them still have day jobs. Like,
What it likely is people seeing success and then getting jealous of the success because they don't fucking have it.
oh, 1,000%. Yes.
So are
That's
you
exactly what's happening.
if you're not popping, just say that.
Yes.
Are you strictly in EDM? If somebody approaches you for a different genre, are you like willing to collaborate with that, or are you very picky about that now?
I mean, I'm not super picky, but it just depends. It depends on like honestly, it depends on payouts, it depends on if I like the project, it depends on how many projects I have on my plate at that time. I'm not picky. I'll still do anything, but I definitely have to kind of pick and choose what I'm working on now, only because I need to make sure that I'm doing stuff that's going to help me when I do launch my solo songs.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get into doing more stuff for sync licensing because that's really good for like latent income. And I don't mind doing stuff like that. But if someone were to approach me and say, like, hey, do you want to do a pop song to release as a collaboration? I'm like, I don't think that's really gonna help me in the long run,
Right.
because it's gonna move away from the genre that I'm actually trying to work in. And so it could just get confusing.
Yeah, you trying to like narrow down and create that fan base for yourself and that audience to that so they know what to expect somewhat.
Yeah, like nothing's off the table. I just have to do it as like a case by case basis.
Yeah, sync licensing is an interesting thing. I'm trying to get into that, so we should have a conversation about that sometime. So solo stuff. What should we expect from that? When is it coming, and what kind of sound are you going for?
Well, I'm hoping for sometime mid next year. It's definitely going to be bass music.
Okay.
Really excited about. I've been learning how to produce and learning how to DJ, so hopefully I can have my own show where I'm playing my own music and like
Right.
doing the whole thing, which would be really cool. But yeah, it's going to be bass music. I haven't quite decided how heavy I'm going to start out. Like we'll see. We'll see. We're getting there.
We'll see where it
I'm
goes.
a bunch of ideas right now, so still in development, but it will be in the bass world, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing that. So on the podcast, we usually have drinks with it. I didn't bring one this week because I went a little bit too hard last night. But what's your fall drink of choice? Yeah, I drank a bottle of Jack to myself last night. Not my greatest idea.
I had 3 beers and fell asleep. So
Adulting.
I'm turning into a lightweight. Those hangovers are hitting really hard now that I'm almost 30. Like, fuck.
I never get them, but unless I don't sleep, and I didn't get sleep.
I won't even get drunk and I'll have a hangover the next day.
How does that work?
I have high tolerance, so it's just like I'll have like 6 drinks and I'll be like, I don't know, maybe a little bit buzzed, like a little bit, and then I'll have a wicked headache the next day. I'm just like, ugh. So as you know, I was a bartender, so I did like craft cocktailing and all that fun stuff. I pretty much I do this like every fall. I make this apple cider whiskey cocktail.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the Honeycrisp apple cider from Trader Joe's, which is like crack. It's so fucking good. It's that, a little bit of Amaro, some whiskey, a dash of maple syrup, and a squeeze of lemon juice,
Oh my
and then
God.
a little bit of pumpkin pie spice shaked in, And then I don't have a blowtorch right now. I wish I had one, but you can do this thing with a blowtorch where if you sprinkle like cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice on top with the blowtorch, it looks like fireworks falling down on your drink, and it
Oh my
creates this
God.
really nice, like smoky, like aroma to it. Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
So,
my ass needs to try that. I love a cider drink.
dude, I can send you the recipe because I have it written down. That's like my go-to fall cocktail.
I'm gonna need you to do that.
That, and I always love red wine in the winter. So always.
So before we fully wrap here, if you're from Chicago, are you a football fan? Are you a Bears fan?
Yes.
Well, I'm a Steeler fan, and we play y'all Monday night, so be prepared to lose.
We're gonna. Have you seen my team?
Do
Fucking lose. We suck.
you have a Super Bowl prediction? I'm not gonna say shit on that. I ain't gonna go too hard into that. I mean,
Fucking Bears, man. Hey. I have faith in the new quarterback, Justin Fields. He's definitely the best quarterback that we've had in a while, but he's just new and needs a little bit more time. And he also needs a better offensive line because they're just hanging him out to dry.
Yeah, he's getting beat the fuck out of.
That poor kid. But he's already better than the last 10 years of quarterbacks that we've had. So
You're not wrong.
I'm just yeah. Super Bowl this year, I don't even fucking know. Like maybe definitely I think the Cardinals are gonna go for sure.
They're balling.
Yeah, I think they might win it this year. Cardinals, and then probably like I think the Rams are doing really well too, aren't they? They're like
I was just gonna say, if you in LA right now, the Rams are killing it.
I know the Packers are killing it too, but like I'm from Chicago. I'm legally obligated to not say the Packers.
The Packers. I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm a Steelers fan. I got Steelers Bucks, but I also just want the Ben versus Brady old man Super Bowl.
No, I cannot do Brady in the Super Bowl again. I can't.
I just want his ass to lose.
Yeah, that would be nice, but I just don't. I can't do it again. Yeah.
I can't say that I blame you.
I'm getting bored. Like I'm just getting bored of watching him play football.
Yeah, we need somebody new. Pat Mahomes is balling too, so I'm getting sick of him already.
Yeah, I'm not sick of him yet.
That's fair.
Not yet.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and dropping all the knowledge and the insight for us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course, plug your socials for everybody to find you real quick.
Oh, yes, I'm super easy to find. It's just Dani King Music on all platforms. It's DaniKing.
Awesome. And you said you project coming relatively soon?
Oh yeah, solo project will be out sometime next year. I still have, dude, I have like 30 unreleased tracks with other collaborations and stuff. So those are going to be slowly trickling in. Start in January, I've got like 2 more coming. I've got one in December. No, 2 in December. Sorry. And then I also made a Patreon, just talking about like vocal recording and production tips, songwriting tips, like sneak peeks of some of my collaborations that I have going.
Super dope.
Some big collaborations up there too. So if you guys want to hear them, and it's only $10 a month for that. So I think that's pretty much all I got there to plug.
Amazing. Maybe we'll have to get you on another hip hop track here soon.
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do it. But hey, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, and appreciate it.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, don't miss brunch.